This is Section 2, Open Government Data Strategy and Portals. Here, you will review some open data strategies and portals of the leading digital government countries, and will look in depth at the UAE Open Data Strategy and Bayanat portal. There are 5 steps to build an open data strategy: setting the ambition, creating your strategy, drafting an open data policy, overcoming barriers, and critical success factors. So first, setting the ambition. Defining your ambition implies answering a series of questions such as, where do you want to stand and by when? Will all data be available by default? Is this data stored centrally? In order to set a clear ambition, start by defining the as-is situation before going into the definition of the to-be situation, and define measurable goals. There are 4 steps to defining the as-is situation. First, gather a representative group. Second, identify what the units do. Third, is data centrally organized? And fourth, is data currently published? So first, you're going to gather a representative group. Identify key representatives of different sectors, units, and departments of your organization that can help you create the right as-is situation. Second, identify what the units do. Which unit collects data? Which ones use data? Which ones produce data? What type of data do they gather? What format? It is advisable to create a visualization of the situation in order to have a proper overview of the situation. 3. Is data centrally organized? This depends on 2 factors: the organizational data structure and the willingness of people. Throughout the organization, data is generated by multiple units and is maintained at the same level. As a result, data is stored in numerous places with multiple responsible people dedicated to its storage and quality. On the other hand, data can also be centrally stored by a single data storage and maintenance unit, including a team delivering the service of data storage, maintenance, and delivery. When your data is generated by multiple units, they all have their own policies, ways of working, and people. You can imagine that implementing a new way of working becomes more challenging than when data is centrally managed. And 4, is data currently published? Find out what the current policies are around publishing data and try to identify best practices. If no data is published yet, you can contribute to launching the process, which has its benefits as well and enables avoiding formal restrictions, processes, or wrongly manipulated data that might blur the view on the root of your data. One of the main questions where many open data initiatives end is, if we were to publish data, what data should we open up? This question frequently leads to taking a step back and ends up in a discussion about whether to publish data or not. Try to avoid such discussions and check whether you can identify some quick wins within your organization that are part of your end goal of publishing data. Next, we're going to define the to-be situation and measurable goals. The next step is to detail your ambition. Ask yourselves, what do you want to achieve? Where will your organization stand in 5 years' time? Discuss this with your group of representatives and create a clear picture of that to-be situation. It is recommended to create a visualization of the to-be situation. Next, we're going to compare and define the goals. Put both visualizations, the as-is and the to-be, next to each other and compare. What are the differences? What needs to be done? You should define clear and measurable goals that your organization will be enabled to work towards and measure whether you have achieved them or not. Goals should be described in terms of scope, timing, deliverables, and quantities, among others. In order to create your strategy, you will have to define how you will achieve these goals. The as-is and the to-be situations are visualized and the goals have been defined. You are entering the phase of creating a strategy. While creating the strategy, take into account the questions you foresee and which actions you are going to take. There should be a policy and a direction in place once the Open Data Initiative is implemented. If not already done, when capturing the as-is and the to-be situation, create a list of people within your organization that will help you create the scope, time frame, and planning and start executing your project. Your plan should include the following 9 topics: list of data or categories within your organization, assessment of your organization's data status, both current and future, alignment with legal aspects, actions that are needed to reach the goals, technical implications, choices made or to be made, budgetary implications, team or single point of contact with clear roles and responsibilities, time plan to ensure the above is organized in time and can be monitored, and key performance indicators to measure your progress in realizing your goals. When publishing data, you can either have the data be open by default or closed unless. Organizations often end up choosing to close their data unless there is a clear purpose. This is a missed opportunity. Why? Because it is impossible to identify all opportunities different types of data create. The opportunities are endless. You might classify a data set as useless, whereas the solutions architect has valuable ideas for the use of that set. Assessing the usability of data case by case is a timely and unnecessary effort. It is advised to choose the open by default as a standard for your organization. Your open data policy is one of the most effective documents to detail your ambition and the way you intend to realize it. It will support your implementation and set the standard for the field. It will create the transition, increase the transparency, and ensure the best use of your data. The translation of your open data strategy into a solid policy is of great importance to ensure its successful implementation. The open data policy. What data will you publish? Under what conditions? When? How often? And why? For what expected impact? What benefits? The policy will answer all the questions for the people within and outside your organization. Take time to design your policy and make sure the decision makers within your organization endorse it. Your policy should cover the 5 following topics: definition and benefits, scope and goals, legal aspects, data types and quality, and point of contact. The first topic is definitions and benefits. In the policy, it is important to indicate what data you want to publish, including a clear definition of open data, such as not only should it be free to use, but also free of charge. Include definitions of the terms you use to clarify the scope. It is helpful to emphasize the benefits by explicitly identifying what's in it for them. Having data available is a benefit, not only for citizens, but also for government. This should increase efficiency within your organization. Then, apply this argument as a key driver for convincing colleagues about your open data initiative. The second topic is scope and goals. The scope is important to bring focus to the Open Data Initiative. It is possible to prioritize the release of data from specific departments first. Include what is part of the ambition and what is not by making your goals explicit and incorporating those in your policy. Describe the purpose to improve transparency of your organization and support the growth of the economy. The third topic is legal aspects. The implementation of open data has to be in line with current legislation. Publish data sets under an open license. These legal implications are of major importance for any stakeholder dealing with open data. It is your responsibility as a publisher to be up to date with the most recent legislative rules applicable in your country. The fourth topic is data types and quality. Data is available in numerous types, formats, and quality. Releasing relevant and quality data requires effort, but serves multiple purposes. It is easy to reuse data in open data formats. Relevant data is used more frequently, and high quality, which is complete and well-documented datasets, enable reusers to identify its value for their purposes quickly. It is important to describe data types, topics, and quality in your policy. It will serve as a standard for most of the datasets published by the public bodies and will increase the overall quality of your open data initiative and thus increase its effect. The last topic is the point of contact. As a reference, it is useful to mention who is the responsible point of contact within your organization for each dataset. He or she will act as a single point of contact for queries related to that open dataset within the organization. The following are critical success factors. The success of an open data initiative depends on three dimensions: the quality of open data publication, the use of open data, and documenting the emerging impacts and benefits. The most critical success factors seem to be around addressing legislation, regulation, and licenses. These aspects are very dependent on the local context. In addition, a number of success factors are sustainability of publication process and user feedback. Some factors are only critical for the success of data publication, while others are only critical for data use. It is therefore best to determine success factors regarding data publishing on the one hand and data reuse on the other. Whether the data is reused for commercial or non-commercial purposes may influence the criticality of the success factors for open data use. If there is a specific need to make open data more profitable, it is likely to lead to different success factors than in the case of not-for-profit data use.